Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Mystical Gaming, and we're back in Watcher Realms, and I just wanted to go over this really. It's where's our buff? So there's been a couple of reiterations of who they said they're going to buff and when they're going to buff them, or not when. They don't really tie down to a date, so go careful with that. But just let's have a quick look over going back through the dev insights. So I've often done videos on the dev insights and what's been going on. So let's just have a quick look at this one. So let's just start here then. Don't want to go back any further than this, and this is quite far enough. So this is the first time that Kria was mentioned. It's back in November of 2023. That's when she's first been asked for a buff. When someone actually, and the devs responded, they did the old dev insights, and they responded to this. So, thank you for your feedback, Commander. We will consider optimizing Kria's in-battle performance. Okay, right, happy days. So that's the first time that they mentioned it. Well, they mentioned her. Now she comes up quite a lot, really, to be honest. And then let's jump forward a bit. So we'll jumping forward now until we hit May of 2024, and she's mentioned again here. Thank you for your feedback. We'll adjust the balance of heroes every month, and we'll consider everyone's hero suggestions. So it's nice that they're taking on your hero suggestions, and if you've got any, feel free to write them in. The problem is they're not doing the first bit of updating the heroes, and certainly not every month. I think October and November last year was the last time we got hero updates. So it's not exactly every month. Durza comes up now. This is the first time he's mentioned. It's August this year. So back in August, not this year, sorry, August last year, this was the first time he was mentioned, or the first time that I could find him being mentioned. He comes up a couple of times. So people have playtested, they've had a run around, and they've put in suggestions of what they think would fix him. And then the dev inside says, thank you for your feedback. Our future plans include improving this hero's strength. So that's good. We're acknowledging that he is getting a buff. We've acknowledged that he's a bit weaker than they wanted. So that was back in August, which is the best will in the world 4 months ago, but you know, depending on how it lies, it could be 5 or 6 months ago. So not fantastic news there, if we're honest. So as we progress forward, we're still into August, but now we're on about the Cursed Cultists. The Cursed Cultists have been left behind literally in all content, and then we mentioned Demi. She comes up again, but they have said that we are going to be adding more suitable content for the Cursed Cultists, as well as strengthening their weaker heroes. So we're admitting that Demi's probably weaker there. That's why I read it, to say that she's getting a buff, and also they've already said that Kiria's getting a buff, but that was the best part of a year ago from this. So but at least they admit again in August this year that the cultists are maybe a bit weak. There's going to be content out for them, or gameplay options, and the weaker ones are getting a buff. Still nothing there to actually see within game. So let's go forward again then. So still in August, a few more dev insights. Now can we have Demi? Can she get a buff? And it's thank you for the feedback. We're receiving performance mentioned. Lords, we would consider them in our ongoing hero optimizations. There's nothing there to say they are going to, but there's been a request there for these 2 lords, and they've said that they will consider them in their ongoing hero optimizations. So there's nothing there to say they will do it, just that they're being considered. Now, through September and October, there doesn't seem to be much about the updates, or sorry, there doesn't seem to be much about buff updates for certain heroes, or not the ones that I had a quick search on today. But Venoma in November comes around and needs a serious buff. Now, so Venoma is part of our current strengthening and enhancement agenda. So there is a strengthening and enhancement agenda. Brilliant, would love to see that. We will gradually update the heroes over time. Now this is in November. Now in fair play to them, in October and in the November when this came out, they did 2 updates. One in the October, one in the November, and both of them included hero updates or buffs or reworks. So I at this time when they posted this, absolutely brilliant. That's fantastic. But it soon falls off the plot because you haven't done any since then, which pushes on a bit further. So on that same month, people are still asking about Durza. So previously, so this is the November, so previously in August they said he was in their future plans. So now they're saying he will be strengthened, and he will be strengthened soon. And this is the 12th of November. He's going to be strengthened soon. Fantastic news all round. Now later on in the month, we had another dev insight, and they said, can you update Demi? Not usable anymore. We have already planned this into the schedule, so that's nice to see, and we will regularly improve weaker heroes, which was fine, but you're not doing that anymore. So again, October, November you did, but December and January we haven't seen any. So has this now stopped, or are you actually going to do some as we go forward? That's what we would really like to know. Now, the next month, we're back through to December now. So December, he's back again. Thanks very much. Now, the response here is quite weird. Thanks for your feedback. We already have plans to buff Durza, but we will also take suggestions into reference. Well, a month before this, his update was coming soon. Well, it's already been a month, and there's been no update to it. And you're taking suggestions as reference to buff him. So I'm wondering how soon is, because when you said it, soon is more than a month, and after that you're still taking suggestions. So it doesn't ring quite true. I think if you're going to say soon, then you should have something in mind of how soon is going to be. Now, we're still on that same December update. Now we've come back round to Venoma. Already very weak. Can we get a buff on her? And we already plans to buff Venoma. No date is decided. Please stay tuned. I mean, I'd take a rough date or a quarter of a year or something like that. You know, I would take anything, but just no dates now. So we seem to be drifting further apart. I mean, let's bear in mind that soon is longer than a month. So we'll have to watch and shoot on that. Now, okay, so we're now moving into the end of December. This is the 26th or Boxing Day, depending on where you're from, and perhaps it's time to buff heroes. And we've named a few heroes again. I haven't searched for all of them, but Mother of Crows is still there. Kria, she's still there. So she's been there now for well over a year. Okay, we will plan on more emphasis on strengthening underperforming heroes in the future. Well, before this, you said you were doing it regularly, and before that, you said you were doing it monthly. I mean, you weren't. Well, you haven't been at this point. You did the previous 2 months, but you didn't at this month. So it now looks like you're throttling back on when and how you're actually going to do the updates and buff actual heroes, which seems a bit of a shame. Now, I think this suggestion here, this is again on the Boxing Day, 26th of December, sorry. You need to make public what your plans are, and you named a couple of heroes, but I don't think it should just be restricted to those heroes. I think just open it up, let it be public. I don't see the issue with hiding it so much, and if dates get knocked back or testing doesn't go so well, then that's absolutely fine. I don't see an issue with that. But this soon and future plans, and it's on our schedule and nothing happens, then the transparency that you already don't have gets eroded. If you can erode nothing, but there you go. We will optimise now in the near future. It doesn't quite sound as near as soon, and soon is longer now than almost 2 months. So realistically, when are we going to get them and how? And the biggest shame of it really is that when you do buffs and you do them, some of the heroes that you've buffed are absolutely fantastic. They're absolutely awesome. You've done some fantastic jobs. So this October and November, when you were doing up the heroes and you were buffing them, you did some stonking jobs. You even gave a rework to some heroes. Now, they may not be the best reworks, and they may not get play everywhere in the game, and he may not be the greatest champion ever, but it's certainly a massive improvement. And some heroes just get a little tweak and they become absolutely brilliant and get gameplay every week somewhere. So when you do it, you can do it remarkably well. It's just unfortunately at the moment don't seem to be doing it, which is now causing a bit of an issue when you're going to have dev insights where you say it's happening and it's coming soon, and nothing to actually come out and actually do it. So we haven't had an update in December, but that included heroes. Nothing in January and so far, and now you're all on holiday. So the earliest we're going to get is what, the 6th of February would be my guess. And will that include any? Because you said soon for at least one of these heroes, and that was back in November. So we'd have had November, December, January. You've had 3 months, a quarter of a year, and you still haven't done it, and that's classified as soon. You've got to come back and think, well, maybe this is right. And can you just make the plans public so we can actually see? Because at the moment, your answers are worse than useless, if we're honest. They're not worth you typing out, because there's no substance to them, because we don't get any actual updates, which is a shame, because like we said, when you do them, you do a fantastic job, but you're just not doing that job at the moment. Okay, that's it for me today. Thank you very much for your time. If you could leave me a thumbs up, like and subscribe, help me out massively, and we'll look forward to jump into some gameplay tomorrow. Thank you very much. Cheers. Goodbye.